Hey, it's Eagle, and I'm back with another mech tutorial, this time for the Bomber. The Bomber is the only melee mech in the game right now, and is built for harassing the enemy. It does strong AoE damage, and can make quick getaways, so it's perfect for killing a few units and retreating. You guys seem to like seeing different playstyles for these mechs, and there are two distinct ones for the Bomber. Air and Ground Harass, so you can click to skip to those, but first I'll go over the abilities and a balanced loadout. The first ability for the Bomber is Bombs. These give the Bomber its name, and you hold the right mouse button to drop bombs while in air mode. It's great for weakening the front lines or finishing off units and low health mechs. The second one is the Mantis Strike. While in ground mode, you hold the right mouse button to charge your Mantis and then release it, or press the left mouse button to release it. It can penetrate through multiple units, and you do gain extra armor while you are charging your Mantis Strike like this. Third one is pretty self-explanatory. It's a passive ability that allows you to move faster while on the ground. And then the fourth one is for your melee. It's also a passive ability. So while you are meleeing a mech, it will transfer that mech's energy over to your mech. So if you're low on energy, you can just start slashing at an enemy mech and you will quickly gain more energy, while the enemy drains his energy. And then this fifth one is your ultimate ability. So it's a whirlwind, so you hold the middle mouse button or the scroll mouse and you do a whirlwind, so you can it gives a large amount of AoE damage and a large amount of damage, and you can move while slashing it. So it's just like the ultimate melee ability for your Bomber. And then the last three is your generic increased creep spawn, equip your guardians, and a passive to increase your in-game experience. Now I'm going to go over the units you want to bring for a Bomber loadout. So I've brought a Longhorn over the Gemini because Gemini are used for killing light units and neutralizing outposts, which is kind of your job as a Bomber, so you don't really need to have a redundant unit like that. And then I've brought Bombs because you can drop bombs while using your ability to pretty much insta-kill socket units, and it just enhances your main bomb ability. The other team won't be able to push against a Bomber with bombs as long as you stay alive. And then for infantry, I've brought the Morty because I like this for Bomber. They shoot at a long range, so they can sit far away while you go up close to neutralize an outpost or harass socket units because you are a melee mech. So you can tank the damage while they shoot over you. I have brought a generic Seeker, Ratchet, and Moneymaker for anti-air support and socket units. And then I've brought a Goliath because Goliaths are OP and why not. And then my last unit is a Gaddy. So this has a similar role of the Bomber because it's perfect for stopping cheese and harass, and it's great at killing light units. So it's just really good to have one unit that you can just place down to do your job while you go do something else. So you can really multitask with a few Gaddies on the field. So this is the loadout I would take for a Bomber. Alright, so first off we have our Ground Harass mech. So when you first start the game, you're going to want to bring a harass unit with you after you socket your moneymakers. So you could either bring like 2 bombs, some infantry, or a Gaddy. So I brought a Gaddy. And what you want to do is instantly go and harass their moneymakers. So you're going to place down your unit and then go harass a different moneymaker. This is the Bomber's main way to get ahead at the beginning of the game because it is a harass mech, so you want to be able to harass the moneymakers like so. And then be sure to microwave your unit if it starts to die and go and kill as many moneymakers as possible. But you want to be sure that you don't die, so you have to escape quickly before you run out of health like I almost did there. So that's what you want to do when you first start the game as a ground Bomber. Alright, so after you've done your harass, you're going to want to start making units for the mid-fight. A good composition to have at your front lines is some tanks with some support behind it, as well as a Gaddy and Seeker to stop any mech harass or any units they may drop there. And then what you're going to want to do is go over and scout their units to see what they might have. So I'm going to bring a bomb over as well, and as you can see they have some units, so you drop the bomb and then land and start slashing and strafing around their units so that you don't die. You have a really high ground speed, so you should be able to strafe away from any Longhorn. Just make sure they don't have too much anti-air, otherwise you will die pretty quickly. So that's basically what you want to do, and then you're going to just start moving up your units to the mid-fight and just continually bombing and replacing any units that you may have. You're really going to want to harass their units more than micro yours. You're going to want to harass their units more than you want to micro your own units, so that you can always have the advantage in the mid-fight without you having to do too much. So that's what you're going to want to do during the mid-fight, and obviously try not to die. Another thing the Ground Harass bomber specializes in is neutralizing outposts. So as you can see, the enemy has taken one of my close outposts, so what I'm going to do is drop a Gaddy there to start neutralizing it, and then you want to bring over some infantry and make some more, and then you want to drop these infantry and then start slashing at the base so that your infantry don't die, and you take all the damage. So you can pretty much neutralize any outpost very quickly, even if there are bunkered infantry as there were there, and some defenses. So you just kind of want to move around so that the enemy mech can't kill you, and then you can easily neutralize it and then go pick up those infantry or some creeps to take it back quickly. So the bomber is great at neutralizing outposts like that as well. Alright, one last thing that the Ground Harass bomber specializes in is its Mantis Strike. So you're really going to want to upgrade this a lot because you're going to do a lot of harass on the ground. So what you want to do is bring over a unit like a Gaddy or a Longhorn and then place it down in front of some tanks and then stand behind it and just Mantis. And you're also going to want to strafe around units so that they don't kill you. And the Mantis can actually shoot through multiple units, so if tanks are clumped up like that, over there, like in a line like so, you really want to Mantis and strafe so that you don't die, so that you can kill multiple tanks really quickly. This is also good if they are pushing against your base and the tanks will all go in a line like that, and then you can easily just Mantis strike them all down so that you can kill them very quickly. So that's it for the bomber Ground Harass. Now I'm going to show you the parts I would equip with this loadout. We're going to go behind the scenes for your Ground Harass bomber loadout. So for a pilot, I would choose Gabe just because Gabe is a really good pilot for the bomber. You could also try Lexi because it gives attack power and respawn, so you will die more often on the ground as a Ground Harass bomber, so you want some respawn as well as attack power. And then obviously your item is going to be the new Strong Juice because it gives ground speed and melee attack power, which is perfect for your ground mech. For your guardians, you're going to want to repair guardian so you can stay on the field longer without dying as quickly. And now for your parts, I'm going to choose the generic core. For your engine, you want the supercharged engine because it gives plus some ground speed. And then for your weapon part, you're going to want harmonic blades because it gives more melee attack power so you can kill more things faster. And then the alien metal will give you some more damage resistance, so especially if you're a Lexi bomber, you're going to want this. And then Servos is the perfect unit as well because it gives ground speed and transform speed so you can quickly escape and move around on the ground. Efficiency chip also gives you some more transform speed, which is good, and you don't need too much, and you don't have to worry about your energy as a ground bomber, so the negative effects don't really matter. And then obviously you want inertial rechargers because you will be having to recharge your energy and health a lot over your outposts, so you want to do that quickly with that part. So this is the behind the scenes of my Ground Harass bomber. Alright, this next main bomber strategy is called Air Harass. So this is going to be really dependent on bombs. So you're going to want to just make your general units and then just start making bombs because that's really what the point of this mech is. This isn't really as harass heavy, but you can still bomb and drop some bombs to kill lots of units. This mech is really slow, but you can bomb for a long time because you basically lose no energy while flying, as you can see. So even while bombing, in the air while flying even, you really don't lose any energy. So you're just going to want to keep bombing and killing units like so. You don't even really need the other abilities because you shouldn't be landing too much with this loadout, so you're just gonna really want to upgrade bombs, and that's pretty much it. As you can see, you can tear up things, and even with a Hunter Seeker there, you really have a lot of damage resistance, so you don't die much either. So it's just a really good loadout for harassing units. Alright, another thing you can do with this loadout is micro your units. So this is really, because you have so much flight energy efficiency, you can really move units a lot and micro them, and you won't die a lot to anti-air or run out of energy, so you can pretty much micro anything you want without fear of dying or running out of energy. And now you do move pretty slow in the air, as you can see, so you might want to choose Natasha as your pilot instead if you want a little more airspeed, but you won't be able to build units as quickly with her either. So I'm just going to use Mako because, I don't know, I just really like his damage resistance, because you really never should die in this with this build, because you have so much damage resistance, and you aren't really landing either, so you shouldn't be in too much of trouble with getting too much damage, because you can always just fly away. So I really like this build for microing units more, while the Ground Harass one is more for killing the enemy's units. So there's really two styles of play here you can choose from, and either one is good depending on if you like more defense or more attack in your builds. Now I'll go over the behind the scenes for your Air Harass bomber loadout. So for pilot, I would choose Mako because it gives a lot of flight energy efficiency as well as damage resistance. You don't really need to go too fast in the air for this build, at least the way I play, so this is the pilot I would choose. You could also try Natasha if you don't want to go quite as extreme. And then for item, you're obviously going to want the fluorescent light bulb because it gives flight energy efficiency, and then you're going to want the energy guardian for even more energy, so you barely ever have to recharge your energy with this loadout. And then you just want the generic core, and for your engine you're going to want blueprinted turbines because it gives flight energy efficiency and some airspeed, which is perfect. You probably don't want any weapon parts because they don't help bombing, which is mainly what you're going to be doing. And then the alien metal gives more damage resistance and airspeed, which is perfect. And then I chose active plating because it gives more damage resistance, and its only real negative that you care about is a little less airspeed, but that's not too bad. You could choose any of the armor parts you want though that give damage resistance. And then efficiency chip gives more flight energy efficiency, so you want that. And then inertial rechargers, so that when you do have to go over your outpost, it doesn't take quite as long to recharge all that energy. So although the stats don't look pretty when you look over it, you can see you have plus 50% flight energy efficiency and almost 30% damage resistance. So that means you're almost never going to die, and you're definitely never going to run out of energy while flying and bombing. So although there are a lot of negatives, the positives are pretty epic for this build. So this is the behind the scenes for your Air Harass bomber. Alright guys, that's it for this bomber tutorial. I hope you found a strategy that fits your playstyle, whether it's defensive or offensive, or at least saw a new technique you could implement in your gameplay. The bomber is a really fun mech to play, and I hope you all try it out yourself. So be sure to like and subscribe if you found this helpful, and download this awesome game of Airmech. I'll see you guys later.